1st Armored Division, America's Tank Division, is an active component, U.S. Army, Armored Division located at Fort Bliss, Texas, consisting of approximately 17,000 highly trained soldiers and with a lethal mix of combat capabilities, including tanks, artillery, attack helicopters, Bradley fighting vehicles, transport helicopters and robust sustainment capabilities. Also known as Old Ironsides, the 1st Armored Division is commanded by an Army, 2-star general, and consists of the division headquarters element, 3 Armored Brigade combat teams, a Combat Aviation Brigade, a Divisional Artillery Brigade, a Division Sustainment Brigade and other separate battalions and units. America's Tank Division routinely conducts operations in support of U.S. military geographic combatant commands including AFRICOM, CENTCOM, EUCOM, INDOPACOM and SOUTHCOM areas of operation and is currently supporting missions in 20 countries on 5 continents. When directed, 1st Armored Division deploys and defeats our nation's enemies to support national objectives, fully prepared to exercise mission command of Army, Joint, and multinational forces as a U.S. division or as a Joint Task Force, JTF. The 1st Armored Division is a value-based, fit, and cohesive team led by expert leaders focused on readiness and continuing the division's legacy of America's Tank Division. The 1st Armored Division, nicknamed Old Ironsides, is the oldest, most recognizable armored division in the United States Army. As part of the mechanization of the U.S. Army and the build-up for World War II, cavalry and reconnaissance units were brought together to form the 1st Armored Division, July 15, 1940, at Fort Knox, Kentucky. On May 11, 1942, the 1st Armored Division left the U.S. and 5 days later were training in Northern Ireland. On October 29, 1942, Old Ironsides moved to England to depart for North Africa. The 1st Armored Division's first contact with an enemy was as part of the Allied invasion of North Africa, Operation Torch, November 8, 1942. The Allies received unexpected resistance from Vichy French units. Old Ironsides then advanced toward Tunisia. In January 1943, Old Ironsides, as part of II Corps, received the mission of defending central Tunisia against an Axis counterattack. After 3 months, the Allies could finally claim victory in North Africa. Old Ironsides then moved to Naples, Italy, October 28, 1943, to support the Allied effort there. In June 1945, Old Ironsides moved to Germany as part of the occupying force. 1st Armored Division deactivated, April 25, 1946. Almost 5 years later, on March 7, 1951, 1st Armored Division reactivated at Fort Hood, Texas. The 1st Armored Division moved to Germany in 1971, and based in the West German city of Ansbach. The division remained in Germany for the next 20 years as part of the American forces committed to a NATO defense of Europe. In November 1990, Old Ironsides deployed 17,400 soldiers to Saudi Arabia in support of Operation Desert Shield. On February 24, 1991, the 1st Armored Division crossed into Iraq to begin Operation Desert Storm as the leading unit in 7 Corps' main flanking attack. The 1st Armored Division deployed twice between 1995 and 1999. The first deployment, in 1995, sent the Iron Soldiers to Bosnia-Herzegovina in support of Operation Joint Endeavor. 4 years later, 1st Armored Division received orders to become part of Operation Allied Force in Albania and Operation Joint Guardian in Kosovo. On March 4, 2003, 1st Armored Division received orders to participate in the global war on terrorism. By April 15, the Iron Soldiers moved out to support Operation Iraqi Freedom. Task Force 1st Armored Division was the largest division-based task force in U.S. Army history. Brigade combat teams from 1st Armored Division have deployed multiple times since 2003 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation New Dawn and Operation Enduring Freedom. In 2005, the Base Realignment and Closure Commission determined the 1st Armored Division should leave their home bases in Germany and move to Fort Bliss, Texas. The division officially unkissed its colors at Fort Bliss, May 13, 2011. In June 2017, the 1st Armored Division Headquarters and the Division Artillery Headquarters deployed in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. The division headquarters assumed command of the Combined Joint Forces Land Component Command, and with coalition and Iraqi partnered forces made enormous progress denying ISIS aspirations. During the 9-month deployment, the Combined Joint Forces Land Component Command, led by the 1st Armored Division, defeated insurgent counterattacks, reclaimed thousands of square kilometers and significantly weakened the ISIS terror infrastructure in Iraq. The CJFLCC helped set the conditions for the government of Iraq to announce the liberation of Iraq from ISIS in December 2017. The 1st Armored Division Headquarters and Division Artillery redeployed to Fort Bliss in March 2018.